Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a reading for the element of water and water signs, if you want to look at it that way. If you're looking at this with the intention or the perspective of astrology, my intention is more earthly. It's more about the elements, but what they are wanting to point out is that they want you to be paying attention to what needs to be balanced in your chart. If your sun sign is a water sign and you always resonate with and always connect with and are really in tune with the energy of water in your chart, that is not necessarily the one that they are wanting you to pay attention to and get the guidance from. If you can, get yourself a birth chart reading. There's different places online that you can go to get them for yourself. But pay attention to some of them have where you can find out how many of each of the elements are in your chart. So let's say you have, 6 places of water in your chart, but only 1 fire, or, they want you to be paying attention to the element that you're lacking in your chart more than anything. And as I look up, it's 11:11 on my clock right now. They've really been stressing the importance of balancing the elements, and so that means seeking to balance in the areas where we don't normally focus. That's what is causing an imbalance that we haven't totally been aware of recently. So I'm doing these readings, these elemental readings, in order to help balance out those areas of your chart. So what we're focusing on today is the energy of water. And in the last couple of days, the goddess energy, the divine feminine energy, has been very present, especially Isis. And then this morning, Mother Mary, along with Isis. So that nurturing, that emotional, that soft, that moving, intuitive kind of energy is here to help you to balance out something in your chart, to balance out the water in your chart, to help you to channel and to resonate with and to connect with the energy of water and flow. They're telling me magnetism, they're telling me the moon, and ebb and flow and the tides, and all of that is included with the energy of this reading. I have infused it ahead of time with Reiki energy. It's a rainbow Reiki energy that I normally do today. It was infused with a lot of blue. You can see that I have my blue and white crystals out here today. So if you're open to receiving the healing from and support and sacred energy from the Reiki energy, make sure that you just set the intention that you are willing to accept it, and I think it's really going to help to benefit what it is that you are working through and balancing right now. All right, I'm going to lay out a spread real quick. I do not have music on today. It's super quiet. That always says something to me too. Hang on, card dropped. Because you know me, I always have music on. So it's just telling me that there's some things that we really need to focus on, and sometimes the quiet and the stillness. They're just letting me know that there's a lot of you that need to really tap into stillness in your heart. You're needing healing when it comes to your heart, kind of cleansing. You need the cleansing of water through your heart space. And if you just listen to the silence for a minute, listen to what it's telling you, and listen to the calm and the peace that's sitting there for you to tap into. It feels very peaceful. It feels really held. I did a meditation this morning, and Isis had her wings wrapped around me. It was so soft, and it was so putting your head on your mother's chest and just warm and cozy, and it was really amazing. It's kind of what the energy of that silence is that they're wanting to pass on to you right now. So I hope that helps you a little bit. All right, I'm going to lay out a spread real quick, and we'll go from there. I just want to remind you guys that all of my services are now by donation. If you didn't know that already, it just costs $1 to book the session, and then you decide what you want your energy exchange to be after the session. It's completely up to you. I am detached from any kind of monetary worth attached to my services. I offer myself in the exact same way every single time, regardless of how much money is coming my way. It just taps more into the vibration of love and service, and freedom for you to choose what it is that is your part of the energy exchange. So if you are wanting to book a session with me, just go to my website. Information for that is in the box below. Holy moly! Some of you just got really charged by that and really excited. They're like, oh my god, I'm going to go do it now. So thank you. All right, one of them got away from me. Two of them got away from me. Okay, lovely. All right, I'm going to go ahead and lay out the spread now. This deck is very talkative today. If you guys, I'm going to show you this deck also because it's really beautiful. One of my clients actually created this deck and sent it to me for me to try out, and it's one of my favorites. I use it all the time. If you're watching, Kimberly, I use it all the time. It's called the T Rose Oracle deck, and I am a photographer. I've been a photographer for, 20 years. I don't actively do it for my business anymore, but all of these cards are photographs, and the energy in them is, some of them are black and white, some of them are sepia. The energy in them is so real. It's almost like an anchoring in the visual 3D elements, and yet still connected to really powerful energy and guidance, and it's just, they're so different. I've never seen anything like them in this way, but they are really amazing. So if you're interested in them and you want to purchase some of them, it's called the T Rose Oracle deck. You can get them over on Instagram. I'm pretty sure it's listed under T Rose Oracle, or you can contact me and I'll get you in touch with her as well. And for some of you, that card was important. There is some karma that's being released right now. There are connections that are coming up for you to work through and to sever. There are karmic attachments that some of you have to older versions of yourself, not just to other people. Usually those other people are mirroring it back to you, so you do have karmic attachments to them, but essentially what is speaking to you in your subconscious and controlling some of your thoughts and your energies and your feelings are the version of you that was connected to that person at that time also. If you're only able to see that it was this other person that is coming up into your field right now, don't forget that there is a version of you that only had a certain level of consciousness, one that does not have the consciousness that you have right now. They hadn't ascended to where you are just yet, and they are confused, and they are worried, and they have fear, and they are scared of something. They are overwhelmed, and they need help. They need a release. They need you to see them. They really need you to tap into your feminine, intuitive, emotional, empathic energy and really see them. Do a little bit of digging. I tell you this, as an example, I have the same thing going on too. Just this morning and yesterday, I realized that it is the version of me from 3 years ago that moved to this home. I'm right now packing things up and getting ready to move. Um, I don't have a place yet. I have to move in about 2 weeks. I have to be out at the end of the month. And I am in the process of manifesting the best place for me and my girls, for the best place for expansion, and um, releasing these things from the past, releasing healing I know is necessary because it hasn't quite manifested in my physical environment yet. I can feel it coming. I can feel the energy of it. But I knew that there was something still connected to something that was resistance, holding it back. And I realized when I was packing some things up yesterday that it was the energy of the woman who moved her children here after her divorce, that me, obviously. After her separation, after selling her home, single mom, taking care of the kids by myself, scared, working for the first time in 7 years, needing to support my family, being terrified of how to do that, running on vapors, just surviving each day and doing it from a very, very overwhelmed emotional place, and not feeling like I was doing it very well most days. And there was a lot of trauma energy that I was acting out of. And so I was very, 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 very hard on myself. And I recognized the energy of that happening again right now in the fear that I have about manifesting this new place and the time crunch that I'm under. And I recognized that it was more her energy than it was my own. And so I did a meditation. I did a healing meditation. It was a Steve Noble, Archangel Raphael meditation that he actually recorded 3 years ago. My Divine Masculine suggested it for me. He was doing it, and we did the meditation together at the same time, and it was perfect. It was exactly what I needed. It was exactly what she needed. It was exactly what I needed to cut those karmic ties to her, to hold her, to show her the mirror of how strong she is and how light she is, and how powerful her influence is over her environment, how she manifested this place for herself, which was perfect for her and her children. It wasn't the house that she had come from, but it was perfect for them. It was perfect for the next phase of her life, and she didn't give herself enough credit for having leaned in and manifested this place for her family. She didn't give herself enough credit for a lot of things. So some of you are going through the same thing. Some of you, they've shown me, are going through a type of mourning phase that you weren't able to go through when you had a breakup or when your marriage broke up. There are some of you who were kind of in that survival mode and didn't take the time or didn't have the time really to comfort yourself, to learn self-care, to take care of yourself. We were running outdated programs that, made us put other people's needs before our own. And we got to a place of being very, very, very depleted and just dark night of the soul energy. Now is the time when we are able to send healing back to them to support that version of ourselves, separate ourselves from allowing the flow of that mindset and that mind frame to affect us now, but to recognize that she exists there in us, and we now have evolved past that, and we can send her healing. We can ripple that back through our timeline, and then it will ripple back forward to us here. We won't feel the influence of that fear, of that level of consciousness. We take over with this level of consciousness. That feels like a very powerful message for a lot of you, especially, when it comes to divorce. It feels like some of you are mourning the divorce, and what they want you to do is shift not mourning as if you want to have it back or that you don't understand that it had a purpose and that you actually are better. They want you to allow that person that you were back then to mourn the loss of it, but to send back the energy of knowing and understanding and intuition that lets that version of you know that everything is always working out for you. Wait till you see how this turns out for you. Just wait. It will be a good thing. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Your pain, there is joy in the pain that you're experiencing right now, or, that version of you back then, because your freedom is happening. You're breaking free. You are expanding. You are awakening. You are becoming more yourself every single day. It just feels like a breakdown. It feels like sometimes you have to, it feels like you're breaking down. It feels like a complete breakdown because it is essentially. It's a breakdown of all the old systems that you were running that kept you from being fully you and fully light. And you're on the path to a really amazing breakthrough and you get to construct this new version of yourself from pureness, from the depth of who you are, and you get to do that on your own terms. It's a really beautiful thing, and sending the healing energy back to that person is really going to help you right now in this time period. That was so really amazing. I'm very emotional right now. I'm like on the verge. And this is some of your energy also. Some of you are really on the verge and you're like, wait a minute, where did all of this come from? Where did this emotion come from? I wasn't feeling a certain way about it before, but that makes sense for me. And that makes sense that, yes, I was scared during that time. And I felt lost and alone, and I feel the resonance from some of you right now, and your emotions are very important. You need cleansing. You need cleansing. It needs to be let out, and those tears, that emotion, that crying is so therapeutic. It is meant to support that version of yourself from an empathic, loving, supportive, everything is going to be okay space. So let those emotions work through you, and hold yourself. Show yourself that love by embracing those emotions. You are embracing those emotions at a much higher vibration than you were back then. That's why it's so easy to access them. That's why they come up so easily. That's why 1 minute you'll be totally fine, and the next minute it's just like, oh man, she got me again. Here I am sobbing the ugly cry. And it's a good thing. It's a high vibrational release, and it's really beautiful because we do it from a place of positivity and knowing and inner strength and faith and trust that we're helping them to release it. It's in order to strip that layer away, strip what she knew, strip her consciousness away from you, and break another piece of that mold away, that conditioning, those outdated ways of thinking that it needs to be a struggle, that it needs to be very hard, that you can't do it on your own, that it's too hard to do it on your own. Strip those things away from you now, and free yourself just a little bit more to step into this next level of what you were manifesting for yourself today, now. That's what this card is talking about, this release. It feels like a free fall, but it feels so good. I was just talking to Lloyd this morning about how he went fishing for the last couple of days, and he didn't realize how much he missed the outdoors and how much he really needs it. He's an earth sign, and so missing out on the energy of of being outside and connecting with the earth was like taking a piece of him away. And I said the same thing, that I'm an air sign and I need fresh air, I need oxygen, I need breath, I need breath work, I need to be doing it more often because it really does fill me. And breath work fills me with the energy of this flying, this release of a dense kind of ego mind. It helps me to fly, it helps me to be free, it helps my body to feel free. I've started doing dance every single morning too, and just this free flow. No one is watching. I let my body do whatever it wants to do. It just like this release, this liberation through movement, exercise every morning. It's freeing, it's fun, it's joyful. I don't have to think about it. It's not an organized exercise, but it feels so good, and I lean into it so hard that I'm so out of breath afterwards, and my muscles are aching, and it's so amazing. The release of that pent up energy, that me feeling free in that way is exactly what I need. And if you can do that out in the fresh air, that's even better. When I go outside, step outside at least 3 or 4 times, every couple of hours, because I just need to breathe in the air. Sometimes I just step out there for a minute and then I come back inside. I've been looking for a house that has a screened-in porch too, because I want to be outside and inside at the same time, be able to breathe in that fresh air. So that's what I'm manifesting for myself. That would be ideal for me. But anyway, it feels related to the energy of air that I have in my chart, that thing that fills me the most. Tapping into the energy of water right now is the way to manifest more air in my life, because I'm allowing flow. I'm leaning into my intuition. And I'm doing that by accessing it with air, with breath. That's just an example of how to use the different elements in your chart in order to rebalance, recalibrate yourself, fill yourself with the things that you know are your baseline, are your stability. If you are earth, make sure that you're filling yourself enough with grounding, with being out and connecting with nature, with, that kind of connectivity, and that you are also getting guidance in the areas, the elements that you are lacking. It helps to balance both of them out. And the world. So as we do this, what they're telling me too, as we do this, we are the microcosm for, the bigger picture. We are just the smaller example of what's happening out there. As we balance these elements for ourselves, we are sending that healing through the earth as well, and out into the atmosphere, out into the universe. If you've never heard of it before, look up the prophecy, the Hopi prophecy of the Rainbow Warriors. The Rainbow Warriors are being called into action now, and if you resonate with that at all, please get in touch with me, because there is a lot of work to be done, and I can help to guide you on how to set yourself onto the path of that and what that looks like. They are starting to be rallied. They are starting to be brought together in order to spread the healing out through the land. And you do that through yourself. You do that through spreading and strengthening your own light body and spreading that out just by being it and walking the path. Sometimes literally walking the path, walking along ley lines, a lot of different things. If you're interested in that, please get in touch with me, and I'm going to point you in the right direction and really step into that. It is the end of a really powerful karmic cycle for you, and also for the world right now, the world at large, I just heard. Sending out, bringing in this love energy for yourself, giving yourself that time to love yourself, puts out the light codes and the energy of love, the vibration of pure love. It is unconditional. There are no conditions surrounding whether or not you love yourself when you're in that state. The vibration of that is sent out, and it is the most potent, the most pure version of high vibrational frequency that is out there, and it is what is healing the earth. It's what's healing the collective. It's this force, it's this vortex that is gaining speed and it's gaining power. And the more you lean into it, the more powerful it is, the more the energy exchange of that power flows back and forth to you, the more you will be in alignment with what is your highest vibrational timeline in your physical reality at all times. That kind of alignment is really, really, really so beautiful and so easy, so much easier, so much more fun, so much more filled with joy than what you have been able to experience up until this point. But give yourself credit and gratitude for the work that you have done in healing major shadows up until this point. You have freed up so much space to be able to start layering on this kind of energy. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Journaling. Okay, journaling. This one came up in one of my readings yesterday too, actually. I think for some of you, a really amazing way to lean into the flow of this. For some of you, writing is a real release. Journaling, make sure you're keeping track of any kind of channelings that you have, any dreams that you have first thing in the morning, make sure. And they're also telling me a gratitude journal. A client of mine suggested that I keep a gratitude journal and every single day write in it and read over it and vocalize these things that I'm so grateful for. Give the version of me from 3 years ago a reminder about all the beauty that's around me in this now moment. Bring that person, that 3 years ago person, into this now moment and show her how beautiful she feels, how beautiful the world is around her, how amazing her life is, and how amazing her children are, and how well adjusted they are, and the benefit of having been here in this home and how it supported her. And let those versions of you, any inner child work that you're doing, let them read the gratitude from your now person by stating them out loud, by creating the vibration of them, and keep track of them every single day. I have a feeling that this is going to be a real release for a lot of you to actually see on paper how many amazing, positive things you have going for you in your life. Do it every single day, before you go to bed, first thing in the morning when you wake up. And if you haven't started yet, if you're ready, if you feel that this is something that just fills you and you are really wanting that ease and that peace in your heart, start listening to some Abraham Hicks. That's what I've been doing in the last week and a half. It's game changer and it's next level. And when you are ready for it, it's showing up in your field for a reason. There are real manifesting possibilities and power and alignment for you right now. All right, guys, that felt like a really beautiful message. There's a lot of healing in this space right now, and I just thank you for listening and holding the space for me as I am releasing these things as well. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for this channel. I'm grateful for all of my clients. I'm grateful for all of the interactions that I've had in the last 2 months. I'm grateful for this quarantine. I'm grateful for this time to go within. I'm so grateful to get to know my children in a more deep way. I'm grateful to get to know myself in a more deep way. I'm grateful to be the mirror for you. I'm grateful for you being the mirror for me. And I just want you to remember that any light that you see in me, any light that you hear in my voice, is just a reflection of what's inside of you. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon.